Everyone, this is GOL from Productions², and we're back today to do just more work on our advanced weapons plugin. So I think I may have figured out why those windows are so screwed up. Maybe. So I was kind of going through the code last night, and I was looking at it, and I was thinking, maybe it's because we're creating these things over and over again. Because if you remember this code over here, we were creating the gold window over and over again up here, and we're creating these. And I just wanted to, and also there was some weirdness going on where it wasn't properly setting the right IDs to remove from the lists, the weapon list, once you synthesize something. So what I said I was going to do is I was going to just basically create all the windows at the beginning of the scene, and then just call them and show them and hide them whenever I needed to, not actually get rid of them. Or not actually create them down below and any of the other stuff. And then the second thing I was going to do is I was going to basically change how we dealt with basically putting weapons into these windows. So I basically stopped. I've taken out all the passes where we're passing through a weapon to it, and instead what we're doing is we're going to create a new function up here called get weapon in for game player. Takes a weapon ID and then returns the weapon object. So I also changed the delete weapon as well, or remove party weapon, so that it's different now. So that we pass through a weapon ID, and then we go through the index of the party weapons, or game party weapons. We loop through it and get the actual index of the one where the ID is the same as the one's passed through. That way we know that the index is the correct one. In addition to that, though, to make sure it's absolutely going to be right, we're making these other changes to where we're actually, instead of just passing through a weapon object, what we're doing is we're passing through weapon IDs. And then whenever we need to update or set a weapon, we're using that ID to pull that particular weapon from the game party weapons list, instead of actually passing through an object. That way we know that we have the same weapon every time, and that it'll work properly when we want it to work properly. So I was in the middle of fixing up all the code to work with the new way these are going. I also decided to, because we're doing that, we're not passing through the weapon, so when we initialize these windows, they're not getting a weapon assigned to them. So we have to do on the things where we were creating the bits and things to put into the window, like for example on the level up window where we have the requirements. Those are being generated at the initialization of the window using the pass-through weapon. So instead, I pulled that stuff out of the initialization and created a new function called prepare window, which is in a bunch of these other windows. Basically, just calls those functions after we've called set weapon. Let's see. I have to try and remember where exactly we were at. I think level up windows where we're at. That's the last one I think I remember doing. What I'm hoping, though, is that by doing this, we're going to solve that issue with the refine window and gold window not working properly. Not hiding properly, I should say. Alright, so prepare window. Yeah. Let's take a look at gold. Alright, refine. No, maybe I did do refine too. I got that stuff here. Okay. Okay, refine, that's done. Process, okay. Let's remove that. And synthesize, we've done that as well, okay. So I guess all the changes we still have to do are up here in the scene. Alright. So. Now, let's create level up window. So on action selection level up. So we're hiding and deactivating the action window. We are refreshing the stat window. We are setting the level up window weapon to wep list wind. Get selected weapon. We are preparing the window, refreshing it, showing it, activating it, selecting it. Then we are updating the gold, show and refreshing it on the gold window. Refine. Alright, so we're on the refine section here. So what we need to do is same thing we did here with the set weapon and prepare window. For some reason, it's not complaining about all these missing semicolons. Then this .ref window, prepare window. Then we'll call the refresh up there. Okay, synthesize. Donor list window. I don't think we have to pass anything through to that one. I could be wrong though, so let's go check. Weapon list, donor weapon list. Alright. So, stat wind. Nope, I am wrong. We do need to. Let's also not call refresh from within it. So this dot prepare window. Throw that in there. Alright. Then we need to call the set So it should be a set base weapon. Call that, and then we need to call prepare. Alright, should activate update stat window true, then refresh it. Alright, so on donor select. So synth window. I think that's what it's called. And to synthesize, yeah, set base and donor weapon. So base weapon will be this dot underscore wep list window dot get selected weapon, and then this dot underscore synth. Get selected donor weapon. Then we'll call this dot underscore synth window dot prepare window. Then we'll call refresh. We will need to update and show the gold window as well. Right. So, on synth OK. So, hide and deactivate the synth window. We should call set weapon again, so we can update it. And it should update automatically. Well, maybe or maybe not, but it should update automatically. But again, just to make sure we have the right weapon, we're going to call this to underscore wep act wind dot set weapon. Now we're going to call it from the, just gonna make sure we have the same ID again, so it's going to be this dot wep list dot get selected weapon. Okay. Now let's see if let's see what issues pop up from that. I'll have to fix a bunch of stuff probably. There's no the code's not malformed, which is good. Alright, so donor weapon undefined. Very first thing. Cell line 821. Oh, is that because we're calling select on it? I think so. Yeah, so make sure that we're not calling select on any of this stuff. Technically, we don't really need to. I don't think. It just makes it so the cursor shows up automatically, I think, when you do a select. At the same time, if you do it at the wrong time, still though, why are we down to here for? Donor weapon list prototype select. I wonder if it's just doing that because we are initializing it. Well, no, it shouldn't do that because it didn't do that before. Let's see, any other selects? Yes, here's one. Okay. Alright, still an issue. So set donor weapon of undefined. So let's see what's actually undefined. Status window. Really? It's on donor weapon list. Okay, so donor Plus that window, passing that through. Are we calling the right thing? Does at the beginning it should be calling it from weapon list, not donor weapon list. Check the or down further. Okay, so create windows, blah 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 blah. Wep list window, show activate, help window, show weps dat window, and refresh it. So we're doing wep list window, which is what we want to do. We are creating everything at once. Donor. So I just want to go down here. What line is that? 557. And then 8. Uh, 11. Oh. The step prepare window. Belt com list. Yeah. Let's see. Get selected donor weapon. This should be a set weapon or something. Set base weapon. So that's actually calling. Okay, maybe that's why. So donor, that would be on the actions, so that would be up here. So weapon donor list set base weapon prepare. Okay, I see where I'm doing that here. Calling it up here, but I didn't remove the prepare window call from down here, which might be why that was happening. Say heavy might. I still expect there to be an error maybe there. Okay, so yeah, we're creating it, and we're still falling down into here. Prototype select. Index is -1. So let's add a check here. We may have to do this in all of them, but I'll make a check here to say if the index is -1, don't process it. Or, yeah. So only process if index is not -1. And that's on the donor list. Donor list.select. So build a com, select, here we go. If index is not equal to -1. Else do nothing. So that should stop it from crashing at that place. I suspect you might have to do that with everything so that it doesn't. Well, it only happens with this one though, which is interesting. It doesn't happen to any of the other ones. Because there's other places where we're using this exact kind of thing and it's not crashing. Well, actually, technically, the only one we're using is wep list. That's the same as this one, and that's at the beginning where we actually have something passed to it. So. Alright, get rid of that. Alright, connect property 0 undefined. Where's that one at? That's in the... also at the donor list. Draw action item. Why is this getting... where are we calling refresh on this from? We're calling refresh on it from somewhere. And it shouldn't be being refreshed. We'll find list underscore donor list. Donor web list window. Alright, so on synthesize we're calling refresh, create drop. Oh, that's why. We're calling it on the create here. We don't need to be. Shouldn't be. Okay, now we don't need that other stuff we put in. As long as we're not refreshing it when we create it, because it's not set up properly yet, then that doesn't matter. Okay, so that shouldn't be causing an issue now. Cannot repurpose it, donor. Fine. And yet here we are still. Same place, right? Yeah. Well, 808, which is same place. Okay, so we're still calling refresh from somewhere. So, on synthesize, that's the only place we're calling it from. On the selection of synthesize. So perhaps it is still doing a select when we are initializing it. Where's the, oh, call stack is not paused. Alright, let's put a break here. See if we can't figure out where it's calling from. Alright, so, selectable, when it's selectable, deactivate, initialize. So on initialize, it's calling, so when we call donor web list initialize, we're calling the Windows selectable initialize, which is calling reselect. And that's calling this select, which is causing our issue. So, because on select we're doing this stuff, and since we're not really doing this on any other of the windows, that's why. Because this and the list weapon window are the only ones where we're actually setting something to the status window when we are doing anything with the select. So yeah, we still need the index -1. It's just that we weren't doubly calling it with the bloody refresh. We still need it down there, so 808. Alright, here it is. Alright, this if index does not equal -1, then process the select. Else ignore it, because it's not a valid call. Well, it is a valid call, but not for how we're doing the window. Alright, so we got this stuff here. Good. So everything drew at once. So, I guess what we'll need to do is we'll need to hide everything on the hide and deactivate on when we create it. So let's go ahead and restructure this now so all the creation stuff is at the same place. That way it'll be easier to work with. I guess we'll start from the beginning. So, create weapon list, create status window. Create action window. Create gold and level up window. Then we need to pull up the crate, donor weapon list, and refine and synthesize windows as well. So refine. Let's make this a little bit easier. So there's our refine window. Create synth window. So donor should already be up here. Alright, so what we're going to do with this now is not on the first one, but we are going to do it on these, which is this dot underscore hide, or this underscore wep act wind hide, and this underscore wep. Well, it should just need to do hide. It shouldn't be activated. So let's use hide on all these. We'll fix the window names after we get them all in there. Alright, synth wind, refine window, open donor list window, level up window, gold window, and action window, which is fine. Alright, so that should hide those. Now, the weapon list was not didn't have any data in it, so I think we need to pass through the, I think we just need to call, well, let me see. So, let's start refresh. Build com list on refresh drill items. Build com list is based off of game weapons, which is fine. Are we calling refresh on that? So we don't need to. If we are technically, we shouldn't be calling refresh from inside of it, but no, just show and activate in the help window show. Okay. Okay, there we go. We got our swords. Our weapons. The info window's not showing up because we are sending an ID. That ID is being processed to a weapon. Because we need to call web stat window fresh from within the set now. So, actually what we need to do is we need to grab this. Not the whole thing, just the end part of it. So, weapon list, select. I know we are calling it from there. Okay, so game party when, oh, maybe because maybe the pass are just the ID. Then we come to the status window, set weapon. Yeah, that was it. It should have been throwing an error, but it didn't. Seems to be the new black is JavaScript not throwing any errors, or no errors being thrown when they should be thrown in general. Okay, there we go. So that's updating now. Good. So the first two screens and uses of them are working. Select. It's not a function. Prepare window on weapon act window. Like I said, there's when you make changes of this magnitude, there's always going to be stuff you got to fix. That's why I try not to do them so much. Sometimes you just have to. I think that this is one of those times because we had to. I think that we were creating all these windows, and that's why you remember, like I was saying, that it's like the handles are like losing their references to the windows that they were created with. Well, that might be because we're creating a new window with them, and so the old window is getting lost. It's becoming an orphan basically, and we can't access it, and that's why that stuff was staying open. But we'll see if that actually is the case or not. That's my hunch. So, column list, help, set weapon. Okay, there isn't a prepare, is there? Should there be? Because we have to set the weapon, and we're not passing it through, so there should be a prepare, where we are calling, well, no. Yes. No, yes, no. No. We just set the weapon, then we call refresh. So on weapon select, I deactivate. Good. We are calling the stuff we need to, but we just didn't need the prepare window there. Oh, actually, that reminds me then, on any other ones, let's check to make sure we're not doing that again. On like any of the ones where we go back to it. So, act window. So, if we do a level up, we should do another. We should update the weapon if we do a level up to it. If we don't, then it's okay not to. We really don't need to update weapon, we just need set. And it makes more sense in terms of like the so here, why are we refreshing action window 4? Shouldn't be. Up stat wind, gold wind refresh. Let's take that out. So on select cancel. That's fine. On synth OK. We are updating it, showing refreshing. Okay. In fact, there may not even be an update on that, an update function, so that might have thrown an error. Let's go check. If there is, I'm going to get rid of it though, because you don't really need an update. It makes more sense in terms of like the process and the name of it in the process, but overall, you don't really need it. It's just a duplicate functionality of set. So we do have set weapon. I do not see an update weapon though. So yeah, that would likely have caused a error. Not likely it would have, because it doesn't exist. Okay, now let's see what else breaks here. Yay, can I property refresh of undefined? What the hell? That didn't happen before. Act window, refresh. Oh, typo. It's lowercase w. Line 416. Sometimes I wish there was just like an IDE for JavaScript. There probably is. Let me actually go see, because that would help with a lot of these damn typos. JavaScript IDE. WebStorm, Komodo, brackets. Let's see. Let's check slant. So Visual Studio Code, WebStorm. Of course, that's not free. What is this? NeoVim? Not stable. Sublime Text isn't an IDE. It's just a text editor. Yeah, not a full foot. Yeah, exactly. This guy's got it right. This guy's a disturbed face. It's not a bloody IDE, so don't list it. It's just a text editor that has some extra features. Atom. Built-in package management, relatively slow and able to handle large files. Packages sometimes conflict. Non-integrated debugging, that's fine. Wouldn't need that. Resource hog. Doesn't handle our right to left text. Well, don't need that. Bad auto-completion. Okay, yeah, screw that. IntelliJ idea. Vim. Oh, Vim, that thing. I don't know what it is for Vim. Vim is like this, Vim is a software developer's idea of a text editor. Basically, it's like you have to program it to actually use it first. It is so stupid. You can't even open a file without like doing some weird crap with it. PHP Storm. Spacemax. Emacs. Brackets. Slow down after installing more than 20 extensions. Functionality, let's see. Time. NetBeans. Written in Java is the top con. I want to write something in JavaScript, but I don't want to write it in a editor IDE that's written in Java. Okay, Visual Studio. Let's source layer. Is it just me or does source layer look like they ripped off sublime text. And even down to the window formatting, unless that's not a correct image for it. Alright, let's give NetBeans a try. Okay. So I want to download. What the hell are all these? Oh wait, seriously? So there is no one NetBeans download that handles everything at once. Oh, all. Okay, there's one. Except there's no 64 for it, but I guess that's fine. Oh, down here. Keep forgetting Chrome opens up stuff down here. Used to using WaterFox. Decided to move to Chrome for because WaterFox was well, I probably should have updated. Probably should update it, but it was doing weird things. And I've gotten used to using Chrome from work, so. Alright, NetBeans, let's get you installed. So I'm sick and tired of Sublime Text. No compatible JDK was found. Well, that's fine, because I'm not going to be working with JavaScript, with Java, so. Do not care. Let's do a customize. I'm just going to take off those Groovy, Java Card 3, Connect, Features on Demand. Okay. Oh, okay, we'll take off Glassfish then. Open source, what does this actually do? A server for development and deployment of Java, okay, it's Java E stuff. I also don't need that. So that system I built last weekend was my first AMD system that I built. The heatsink connector is really strange. It almost doesn't. It almost looks like it doesn't give it enough. You wouldn't think it would give it enough. Pressure on the CPU, but I guess it does. I guess it's just because I'm used to the Intel jack it down as far as it'll go until you almost break the motherboard kind of pressure on the CPU. But I haven't heard back from them saying that it's died or anything, so it was a Ryzen 1300X with 8 gigs of RAM. I think I mentioned this on another stream, but mini ITX board, ASRock AB350, I think. The 8 gigs of RAM, Ryzen, and then a GeForce 710. PCIe card. I forget exactly. It's 710s, and there's like another thing like a. I'll just call it a smashed down version. Something that means that I can't think of it at the moment. Also, my first time ever using NVIDIA for those. I couldn't find a cheaper AMD card to use for that, so it only cost me $45, so it's pretty good deal. But for my system, when I build it, it's either probably going to be an 1800X or whatever the equivalent is when I decide to build it, or maybe a Threadripper, but we'll have to see. Threadrippers are pretty expensive, but, well, they are expensive, but they're also twice as powerful as the X line of the Intel CPUs. Yay, we're installing null. Awesome. What the hell? That is awesome. I've never seen that before in an installer. Please wait while we install null onto your system. Please be aware that that blue screens may be common. JDKs are missing during required to some net. Okay. So I guess I need to install. Well, it doesn't tell you what modules though. Oh, GK, DK. Software development, Java development kit. Well, that's for Java. Well, then again, okay, that's awesome. Your page, Oracle, your page is broken, or you've really done it crappily. So JDK installation for Windows. I have no clue what the hell that page is. It's just like, what the crap. So, JDK. Oh, that's SE. We want the, oh no, wait. Java development kits. So I guess we're gonna have to restart this then. So this is completed successfully, even though the modules. So maybe it was just like a message saying that we had to install it, not that it wasn't installing something because of it. Yeah, that installer kind of makes me suspicious of NetBeans. The last time I used this, and I can't remember when it was like it's total. So I'm starting to remember now that I hated NetBeans the last time I tried to use it. Maybe they've made it better since then. That was like 9 years ago or something. It's for HTML course during college. Wow, that took forever. Oracle's website must have really crappy bandwidth. Let's install everything. Hopefully it doesn't need 32-bit in order to work properly. Otherwise I'll have to reinstall this again. Enable Java content in the browser. Oh, there's no non-64-bit version of JDK, so I guess that settles that. Solaris Spark? What the hell is Solaris? All this for proper variable name detection. There's probably a plugin for Sublime Text to do that, but alright, and then we're going to reinstall NetBeans. So no Java, no Groovy, none of that. Okay, so yeah, we don't need to reinstall it. It's already installed. Instead of it saying that, if we try to run it, it'd probably fail because we didn't have JDK installed. Alright, NetBeans, let's see if you work. Alright, it seems to work. So let's create a new project. Guess it doesn't really matter what we create it for as long as it has the JavaScript stuff in it. So, we'll just call it AWP. No templates, tools, package JSON, whatever. I don't really care about that stuff. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw this stuff in here. So new JavaScript file. Finish. Okay. Really? Oh, that's semicolon after test. No, it doesn't detect that that's not correct. What about test? Nope. Wow. So let's see if there's something we can turn on to make it work the way an IDE should. So NetBeans, so what would that be called? Turn on JavaScript. NetBeans, JavaScript variable checking. So the problem is that I have a variable that doesn't exist. We haven't initialized it or anything, but it's not detecting that it's wrong. Well, let's throw in this file and see if it actually will detect that things are not right. So what do we got here? Global variable is not Windows selectable, is not declared. Game party is not defined, not declared. Sync semicolon. unused. This yellow, like, what the hell? We need to switch this to the dark version. Configure window. Let's see, window theme. Where's that at? Tools options. Appearance. Window, look and feel. It's not the one I wanted. I should show you like an example of what it looks like. Can also export or import settings. Import. Not an import source. Apply, okay, restart. Maybe there's a dark theme we can download. That's still alright. NetBeans dark theme. Directly layout for NetBeans. Alright, so we got it downloaded. Now we need to install it somehow. Let's see. So that's a plugin, so here we go. Plugins. Oh, there's a list here. Okay, cool. Let's go back to our okay, so it's showing errors now by highlighting the entire line. Good. That works. So now game instance weapon. Okay, so what we'll need to do is let's rename. Well, let's go ahead and rename this to. Then we'll add in the other ones as well. New JavaScript file called RPG objects. Actually, what we could do, forget this. Delete these, yes. Should be able to add from existing. Or maybe paste them in there even. So let's go to, let's see. There we go. Let's see, we didn't change anything here or here. Well, we'll still need this probably. Actually, we'll probably need all this. So, well, maybe plugins too. Okay. Does that fix any of this? Of course not. But that'll be fine. So, I'm more interested in the other stuff, like, where was that line at? Down here in the scene somewhere. Please tell me it's going to show it properly. So what line is that on? Console 420. Hey, 420. Well, it's not showing up as purple, but it's not showing up as incorrect. Oh, well. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay. So at least it's got some interesting help window. I guess because it's part of its predefined things, so it's not going to find that. But at least it's going to help me see if there's anything else wrong. At least by looking at the at those to see if they're purple or not. It should show an error, but it wasn't showing one, which is weird. But update web stat window. That's should be right. Yeah, I think it's right. It's just not showing it as that's purple. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work either. Yeah, it's a little bit better, but it's just no. I guess you can't do a proper JavaScript IDE for whatever reason. We'll disable. So it should, in turn, save this down here. Well, maybe not. I think we copied it over there, so. Look at 420. Yeah, no, it didn't. Alright. Okay, I guess we'll stick with Sublime Text. Maybe I'll try and look for some plugins when I get back home tonight to do all that stuff. There's probably is some somewhere. Just need to find them. Alright, so grab some of those. Alright, select. Okay, we got our information over here. Windows do come out of them. Okay, alright, we'll do that. Okay, level up. Let's see. Okay, cool. We only have one click now on these. Good. Now, refine. Is synth is undefined. Oh no, wait, can't read property is synth of undefined. So that's on the refine window. Line 1926, draw action item. So 1926. Well, that's interesting. Should be 24, not 26. 26 is this. So what is synthed? Really? So this is on action pane? No, this is on, wait, this is on action pane. So we clicked on OK, then we came back to it. When we come back to it, it's saying that it's saying the weapon isn't set. Okay. Then let's see how we're setting it at that point. Firm refine. So we just refined it. Refine OK. So, oh, okay, yeah. List wep list window dot get selected weapon. Okay. Show activate refresh. I'd missed that one. I think that function on the ref window is patching back the actual weapon instead of the ID. I don't think I fixed that one. But technically we won't need that because we're just going to pull it from the selected weapon list because that's always going to be the weapon that we had selected. Unless we remove something through. So if we remove something through... No, the ID should still be the same. Because we're looking at the weapon ID of that weapon and then getting the index from that. The index of the weapon in the weapons game party weapons list from that, so that should be fine. Just part of the reason why I did it that way is because I was going through the code and thinking, because after I stopped the stream last night, I did some more testing, and it seemed randomly like if you went back and forth between weapons to level them up and refine them, when you went to synthesize, it would pull the wrong weapon out and remove it. And so I was thinking maybe it's because we're doing all this passing around of values from window to window where we're just passing the weapon back and forth in some place that weapon is getting the wrong weapon somehow. And so that's where I decided, well, let's just pull everything from one place from the game weapons list because that's going to be the main source, the correct source, and we'll just pass through IDs from wherever. And then I decided, okay, let's simplify that further. Only pull the ID from one place where we selected at for the get selected weapon for weapon list. That way we know we always have the right weapon. Darkness, level up, okay. And the gold window, we need to clear the contents on the gold window. Yeah. On refresh, we need to do that with all the windows, I think. I think I was seeing it stack up on other things as well. Alright, so we've refined it, and the gold window's gone, awesome, and this is gone now. Yeah, that was the problem. We were creating all these windows, and they were losing the handler was losing the reference to them, and we were getting stuck and orphaned and being stuck open. Okay, so next, let's select that one. Actually, I think this one is fine. I think it's just the gold window that's not getting updated correctly. Because this, we're creating a list, or we're creating these, every time we're creating these values. Well, it's probably some function of how we're creating them. On this side, we're just like throwing values into there, so it's gonna have like what you're seeing is like every time we open one of these windows, it sticks another one of these on top of the other one, so you can kind of see them all down there. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna test the synthesize and make sure it's removing the correct stuff. Okay. So go back to select this one, synthesize, and BWID is not defined because we screwed up somewhere. So we clicked synthesize and it said BWID is not defined. So that's on the donor weapon list. Set base weapon. Oh, no, BWID. So it's saying that BWID is not defined, so that means we're not passing through a valid WID, which means, okay, or no wait, we're not using this. That's what it is. That is what it is. We went too far up. Donor weapon. Here we go. Donor weapon list over. This here. Oh, and I didn't also. Okay. Now, though, I do have a question on this. So when we were initially pulling the WID, so let's see, select on index, set selected weapon, this dot index. So we have set selected weapon, we're setting the index of the weapon to there. Now, so if we change, so if the index changes and we are only showing, okay, but for the donor list, we're building the list differently. So we're building it based on this WEP list, and we're splicing out the weapons we don't want. We have this WEP list, we're setting that to the WEP ID list. And then we are looking for the ID in the WEP ID list using the index. Okay, that one works. So this one is correct. Up here, though, if we remove an index, or remove a weapon, so let's say we remove 2, so we have, we're going to have to do it the same way here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When we're building the comm list, we need to also do this WEP list stuff. So I'm just going to basically take this code and we're just going to throw it up here. Should be just plug and play. We will need to create, well, we'll need to fix a few things. First of all, this will be called weapon, base weapon. And actually, we don't even need this at all because we want every weapon. So actually, since we're already doing, why are we doing this up here? We're doing this, well, because we want to, okay, we wanted to have the list filled for the splice. We're not doing splice anymore, so we could just add them down here as we're going along. So we don't need this. Pull this stuff over. Don't need that for loop anymore. Okay, so we need to create a WEP ID list up here. Set it to default value. Then when we are doing the set weapon ID on select, we need to do it on this dot underscore WEP ID list. So that we're actually getting the proper ID for that weapon from the game party weapons object that way, when we do get up here, we're going to change that get function as well to do what we're doing with the remove, but just to do it the opposite direction. Instead of removing, we're going to return it. So on get weapon, return. And really, we should probably do it on this as well. So weapon index 1, pass it through the index. So we'll call it ID instead of index. So as long as I1 is less than weapons.length, the weapons equals weapon ID. I'll call it weapon ID. Then weapon index equals I1, and then return this to underscore weapons I1. So now we're getting the right weapon. So wep and the. So actually, if we're passing through the wep, we already know what the wep ID is because it's going to be in there. So weapon index weapons dot equals wep dot underscore ID. Then weapon index is I1, and then if weapon index is not -1, so if it was found. True, we should add that here too. Well, should we? If it's if it's -1 still, then we're not. It's going to return. So if wep index does not equal -1, return. Else we'll like throw an error or something. So this dot underscore weapons wep index equals wep. Okay. Let's just do a lowercase d so that we're matching the format on the other one. Alright. So we do have a malformed thing here somewhere. Unexpected token at 721. 721. Oh. It's on the wrong side. Alright, let's see what this does, and then that'll be the stream for now. That's right, I never had a cancel option before on that. Oh right, the reason this is one click now is because we're not deselecting. Which is actually good. So then we don't have to double click, we just single click. Makes that so much easier. Alright, level up. So I'm going to exit and come back in this time. Alright. Nah, set donor weapon still not defined. Alright. Well, cannot read property set donor weapon undefined. Again, where's that called from? 814 or 841. A little bit further down, 841. 841. Let's see. Status window, set donor weapon. So status window. Oh, because it's not called that. It's called stat window or something. Oh no, it's status window. So we're passing through stat window. But it's undefined. This to underscore status window. Or are we passing it through? No, we're not. Or yes, we are. No, we're not. Maybe so. So create donor. No, we're not. Okay, that's why. It's gonna be nice if underscore web stat. Be nice. There's some sort of thing saying, hey, you're not passing through enough parameters. But in JavaScript, you can pass through not enough parameters. You just can't pass through not too many. Which, I mean, it's mass backwards, basically. That's why I consider JavaScript really to be a scripting language rather than a programming language, because, well, JavaScript, well, it has script in its name, for one, but also because it doesn't have that kind of strict checking. But anyway, so that's going to be it for now. We will do some more streaming later tonight. Since it's a Friday, it'll be a pretty long stream. So what the goals are gonna be to first make sure the functionality we already coded still works. Then, once we've verified it still works, see if there's any other issues hanging around that we need to fix. Then we can move on to doing the durability system, which is going to be quite interesting. We'll need to figure out where attacks happen at and how to apply a decrease in the durability of a weapon. Obviously, it's going to have to be an actual, well, yeah. I mean, I was thinking about maybe we do it as like a float, so we're moving a little bit off at a time, but at the same time, it's a single. It's an integer. We could remove off. We could use a percentage to take off. Like remove 2% of the durability every attack, but we'll figure all that out later. So thanks for watching so far, and I will see you later.